Welcome folks. In this video we are going to look at some questions from Mathematics paper 2 for the year 2023 for the internals. Now we are starting from question 5. So 5a, we are told to simplify, which simply means to make it simple. Now we have two fractions. So the first fraction, this fraction, I'm just going to write it the way it is. So 10 times p raised to the power 3 multiplied by q raised to the power 4 divided by 8 times n raised to the power 4 and n raised to the power 2. So we have the operator, which is the division. So the division changes into multiplication. Then after you change the division into multiplication, the second fraction you need to flip, where the denominator becomes the numerator, and also the reverse, you change the numerator becomes the denominator, which is 4 multiplied by m raised to the power 4 times n raised to the power 2 divided by 25 times p raised to the power 4 times q raised to the power 3. Now there are so many ways in which you can simplify a question like this one, but what I like to do is I'm going to break these parts, the numbers including the variables, in two parts. So the first one, 10 is same as 5 multiplied by 2. Then for p I'm going to say times p times p times p, because p is raised to the power 3. Then times q times q times q times q over 8 is same as 4 times 2, then times m times m times m times m times n times n. So we are done with the first fraction. We put our operator. Then here we're going to have 4 multiplied by m, another m up to 4, then times n times another n divided by 25 is the same as 5 multiplied by 5 times we have p times p times p multiplied by p, which is times now q times q times q. Then we can cancel the diagonal way, so we can cancel this 5, we cancel this 5, so I cancel this p, p, right? So p here, so only 3 p's have been cancelled on the denominator of the second fraction. So what else can we cancel? So we have this q, this q, this q, and this q, this q. So on the denominator of this fraction we only have 3 q's, so only 3 q's will cancel. Then let's check the other diagonal. So from this one we can cancel the 4 will cancel this m, so we do the same. Now we can see that m is raised to the power 4 even, so all these letters will be cancelled. Same applies to n. We can just cancel the n as n. So on top, from the first fraction we only have a 2 over these 2 here, over 2. Then what else? From this part we only have a 1, since everything have been cancelled, divided by 5. So what else is remaining? So we have a p, so times p. So we can cancel the 2, which is our final answer is 1 over 5 times p is 5 over p. So this is how we can simplify a question like this one. Right, we move on to question B. So under question B we are given the question under the computer in math. So the question reads, start the following pseudocode. So we have been given the pseudocode Then our task is to interpret this pseudocode into a flowchart. So draw a corresponding flowchart for the pseudocode above. So if we're going to write a flowchart, we are supposed to now make a visual diagram. So let's look at the first statement, is start. So we need to use the polygon that is used to write the word start. So you use this polygon for the first part. Then the second one, enter E, S. So this is the input. Now in which polygon are we supposed to put the input? So the inputs are put into the parallelogram. So that's what we are going to put here. So say enter E, S. Then from there, if the pseudocode has used the language if, the if must changes into a question. So we are supposed to say easy. Right, so that's the condition. So now which polygon are we supposed to use to enter the question? So the question, we use what we call the diamond. So say is S less than E. So we are expecting two answers. It's either we say yes. So now then the then is interpreted into yes. So that's what you do. So what happens if you say yes, then we need to display. So say display error message. So say display error message. So remember, the input and the outputs are written in the parallelogram. So that's a polygon that you are supposed to use. Then we are done with the then and we have displayed, or else. The else is the no part. So if we say no, what are we supposed to do? If we say no, then we have accepted the condition, which means that S is not less than E, which is the required. So we need to calculate the probability. So which polygon are we supposed to use here? You use the rectangle. So this is the processing polygon. So you say calculate. So say probability is equal to E divided by S. Then and if display probability, so we need to display probability. So say display probability. So this is the output, so you need to put the parallelogram. Then what is our last part? We are told to stop. So the same polygon that you use for stop is the same polygon that you are supposed to use for, meaning for starting, it's the same polygon. So this is our ending part. So say stop. Then here we can just connect this one to this point here. So this is the corresponding flowchart that we can draw from the given information. Now we move on to question 6. So question 6a, we are given a question under probability. So I thought a box contains 4 black and 4 blue identical pens. 2 pens are picked from the box at random, one after the other, without replacement. So this is very important. Find the probability that the pens picked are 1, both blue, 2 of the same color. So even if you are not taught to draw a tree diagram, I advise you do so, because it's easy to answer questions based on the structure. Now since we only have 2 outcomes, we have black and blue, we are going to draw a tree diagram that will have 2 branches. So the number of branches depends on the number of outcomes that we have. Now, since these 2 words are beginning with the same letter BB, we are going to just write the word so that we specify. So this one is our blue. Then here, okay, we'll begin with black since that was the first point. So we have black, then we have our blue. So this is our first peak. Then the second peak, even this one will branch into 2 branches. So this will be our second peak. So we have black here, then blue, black here, blue. Right, so let's go back to the information. So from the information, we have 4 black and 5 blue, which is in total, these are adding up to 9. So that is the total. So for the first part, you don't have to do anything to the numbers. So how many black do we have? It's 4 divided by the total. So the denominator must be the total of the colors, which is 5 plus 4 is 9. Then for blue, it's 5 over 9. Now, since it was picked without replacement, what are we supposed to do to the second part? So you need to subtract a 1. So we are going to assume that the ball that was picked was black without replacement. So if black is picked without replacement, how many black are remaining? So we have 3. Remember, the total must also reduce, so 3 over 8. Then here we are going to have 5 over 8. Remember, we assumed black was the one picked. So for blue, the total for blue still remains the same, but the overall total has reduced because it was without replacement. So remember, this point is very important. Right? So since we assumed black was the one picked, let's assume it was blue picked. So we're going to have 4 divided by the total 8. Then here we're going to have 4 over 8. Now I want you to see the pattern here. So from the first part here, blue is affected, but black is affected, blue is the same. What of the second part? If you check this, what is affected is blue. Black is the same as this number, so you need to make sure that whatever that you've written corresponds to this. So if you look at the possible outcomes here, I'm going to have this black and this black, so I'll say black, black. So the reason why I'm writing these in words, because they are beginning with the same letters. So here I'm going to have black, blue. Sorry, I over scrolled. Then here I'm going to have blue, black. The last part will be blue, blue. Now what's our first question? The first question is both blue. So we are going to pick where we have blue, blue. So this is where our answer is coming from. So say probability of both blue. So I'm going to say blue, blue. So what is the first probability of blue? Is this one, 5 over 9. Multiplied by the second one is this one here, which is 4 over 8. So if you multiply 5 times 4 is 20 over 9 times 80, I'm getting 72. So we can reduce 2 here is 10, 2 here we have 36, 2 here is 5, 2 into 36 is 18. So this is our final answer. Then for Roman number 2, we are just told of the same color, so it's not specified. So since we are told of the same color, we need to find the probability of picking blue, then add it to the probability of picking black because of the same color. So I'm going to say probability of the same color, so is equal to black plus blue. So let's find the probability of black. So the first black is 4/9, the second one is 3/8. 4 divided by 9 times 3 divided by 8 plus for blue we have it. This is 5/9 multiplied by 4/8. So 3 times 4 is 12/72 plus we have 20/72. So no need of finding the lowest common denominator because they are the same already. 12 plus 20 is 32 divided by 72. Can we reduce? 2 into 32 is 16 over 2 here is 36. 2 here will give us 8 over 2 here 18. 2 here is 4, 2 here is 9. So the reduced number is 4/9. So that's how you can find the final answer. Then we have question B, where we are given a vector. The diagram shows a trapezium or ABC in which OA is equal to A, OC is equal to 3C, AB is equal to 3 times OC, and D is the midpoint of AC. So whenever you are given the midpoint, it means the point is dividing the line into 2 halves. Right, so now let's put this information into practice. So the first one, we want to express in terms of A and OC, the vector AC. So if I want to move from vector A to C, so which route can I use? So I'm going to use the route, the first one, AO. So I'm going to say AO plus the second one, OC, since we have the values. Now, the vector OA is 2A. What of the vector AO? So this one is like we are going against the arrow. So if we move in this direction, it's against the arrow. We are supposed to introduce negative to 2A. So 2A becomes negative 2A. Then for this one, we are just going in the correct direction. So we just get it the way it is. So plus 3C. Then I'm going to begin with the positive vector minus 2A as our final answer. So this is the vector for AC. So AC has 3C minus 2A. Now the second one was vector OD. So from O to D. So I'm going to use OA plus AD. So that's a route that I'm going to use. Okay, let me just draw this line. So vector OD is equal to, we have OA plus AD. So OA, this time we are going toward the arrow, so we are going to get it the way it is, plus C. Now AD, if you remember, we are told D is the midpoint of AC, which means that this D divides the line AC into 2 equal parts. So we just want half of that line. So we are going to introduce AC of the vector, half of the vector AC. So we just want half of it, which is 2A plus half. Vector AC is 3C minus 2A. Then we can simplify this question. So half times 3C is 3 over 2 vector C. Then 1 over 2 times this one is negative 1 over 2 times we have 2A, which is, we can cancel this, which is we have 2A, since this will be negative A plus 3 over 2C. So 2A minus A is just A plus 3 over 2 vector C. That's our final answer. What of OB? So let's look at the OB. So from O to B, this vector, how can we find OB? Let's go back to the information. So from this vector we are told AB from this to that point is 3 multiplied by OC. So these parts are 3 times, if we get 3C times 3 will give us the total distance of AB, which is they are like segment. So the distance AB is made up of 3 segments of OC, which is, if we multiply 3 times, what I'm saying is this, AB is equal to 3, where there is OC, we put 3C. That's the point, which is 3 times 3 will give us 9C, which means that here there is the vector 9C. So to find the vector OB, I'm just going to say OB is equal to OA plus AB. What is the vector OA? Is just 2A plus C, 9C. So that's our final answer. Then the last part is BD. So how can we find the BD? So BD, from here up to this point. So I'm going to use, we'll say BD. I want to move from this point to this point. We are moving in this direction. So this is equal to BA plus AD. So BA is against the arrow, so we introduce negative to 9C. Then plus half of the vector AC, which is, we said 3C minus 2A. We can now expand 9C is equal to half times this is 3 over 2C. If we multiply this times this, we said this will just give us a negative A. So to find the lowest common denominator, I can just multiply the upper by 2 over 2. So 2 times the negative 9C will give us negative 18C over 2 plus 3 over 2C minus A. Because if you can see this, if I divide 2 into 18, we still have negative 9. So negative 18C plus 3C is negative 15C over 2 minus 9. Minus A, which is, this is our final answer. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.